For much of human history, China was a land of immense power and influence. Its civilization, one of the oldest in the world, flourished for thousands of years, giving rise to dynasties that ruled vast territories and shaped the destiny of Asia. From the Qin to the Tang, from the Song to the Ming, China's empires stretched across the continent, commanding respect and awe. Its borders shifted with time, but its cultural and political influence remained a constant force. The Chinese people pioneered inventions that would change the course of human history: paper, gunpowder, the compass, and printing. These innovations not only advanced their own society, but also laid the groundwork for global progress. Through the Silk Road, China became a hub of commerce and culture, connecting East and West. Merchants, scholars, and explorers traveled great distances to witness the wonders of the Middle Kingdom, captivated by its sophistication and wealth. But by the 20th century, this ancient giant had stumbled. Centuries of internal strife, foreign invasions, and colonial pressures had taken their toll. The fall of the Qing dynasty, the chaos of civil war, and the upheaval of the Cultural Revolution left the nation fractured and fragile. Millions suffered as ideology clashed with tradition, and progress gave way to turmoil. For decades, China remained largely closed off from the rest of the world. Its economy was stagnant, its industries outdated, and its people isolated from the rapid changes sweeping across the globe. Life was hard. Food shortages were common, and opportunities were few. The promise of the past seemed like a distant memory, buried beneath layers of hardship and political control. Yet beneath the surface, the seeds of a remarkable transformation were being sown. Quietly, reforms began to take root. Farmers were given more autonomy, and small-scale industries started to emerge. Cities began to grow, skylines started to rise. The world watched with curiosity and some skepticism as this sleeping giant began to stir from its long slumber. Diplomatic doors opened, trade agreements were signed. China began to reintroduce itself to the world, not as a relic of the past, but as a nation with bold ambitions for the future. What followed was one of the most dramatic economic transformations in human history. In just a few decades, China evolved from a largely agrarian society into a global industrial powerhouse. Today, Chinese scientists push the boundaries of innovation. Entrepreneurs build tech empires from scratch. From artificial intelligence to green energy, China is no longer just catching up, it's leading the charge. Its people, once burdened by poverty, now dream bigger than ever before. Education, opportunity, and ambition fuel a new generation determined to shape the future. The sleeping giant has awakened, and the world will never be the same again. Before 1980, China was a very different place, almost unrecognizable compared to the nation we know today. It was a country frozen in time, shaped by decades of political upheaval and economic isolation. The majority of its people lived in poverty, especially in rural areas where life was harsh and resources were scarce. Villages were small, infrastructure was minimal, and modern conveniences were virtually non-existent. Most Chinese citizens worked the land, toiling in rice paddies and fields from dawn to dusk. Farming was done by hand, with little access to modern tools or technology. It was a life of hard labor and few rewards. The government controlled nearly every aspect of daily life. From what people could grow to where they could live to what jobs they could hold, freedom was limited and personal choice was rare. Consumer goods were scarce. People queued for hours to buy basic necessities, often finding empty shelves. Clothing, food, and household items were rationed and standardized. China was closed off from the outside world. Foreign products were almost non-existent, and international travel was nearly impossible for ordinary citizens. Trade with other nations was minimal, ports were quiet, and the global economy moved on without China's participation. The world knew little about what was happening inside China's borders, and within China, people had limited access to global news, culture, or ideas. It was a nation behind a curtain. It was a time of limitations, of uncertainty, and of waiting. The future was unclear, and hope was in short supply. But even in the stillness, change was stirring. A new chapter was about to begin, one that would open the door to the world and transform China forever. In the late 1970s, something remarkable happened. China's leaders decided to change the country. They wanted to make China strong and modern. They opened the door to the world. China began to trade with other countries. Foreign companies were invited to build factories in China. This was a turning point. China was now connected to the global economy. It was the beginning of an economic miracle. With its newfound openness, China experienced a surge in factory construction. These factories, often built in partnership with foreign companies, became hubs of production. People from rural areas flocked to cities in search of work. Cities grew at an astonishing rate, transforming from sleepy towns into bustling metropolises. This rapid industrialization brought jobs and opportunities. China was becoming the world's factory, producing everything from clothes and toys to electronics and cars. As factories hummed with activity, China's exports soared. Ships laden with Chinese goods sailed across the oceans, destined for markets around the world. Countries embraced affordable Chinese products, fueling the country's economic engine. China's currency reserves swelled as it became a global trade powerhouse. This trade surplus provided the capital for further investment in infrastructure, technology, and education, setting the stage for even more growth. With increasing wealth, China invested heavily in its infrastructure. New roads, bridges, and airports connected the vast country. High-speed rail lines crisscrossed the landscape, making travel faster and more efficient. Gleaming skyscrapers rose in major cities, symbolizing China's ambition and progress. These investments not only improved the lives of ordinary citizens but also laid the foundation for China's continued economic expansion. China recognized that technological innovation was key to its future success. It poured resources into research and development, nurturing a new generation of tech giants. Companies like Huawei emerged as global leaders in telecommunications, smartphones, and 5G technology. China's prowess in artificial intelligence and renewable energy grew, showcasing its commitment to cutting-edge innovation. This technological advancement not only boosted China's economy, but also increased its global influence as a leader in innovation. Today, China stands as a global superpower. Its economy is the second largest in the world, and its military is a force to be reckoned with. China's influence extends to every corner of the globe through trade, investment, and diplomacy. Its Belt and Road Initiative aims to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through a network of infrastructure projects. China's rise has been nothing short of remarkable. It is a testament to the hard work, ingenuity, and determination of its people. China's ambitions now extend far beyond the boundaries of Earth. What was once a dream confined to science fiction is now a national mission, driven by innovation, strategy, and a bold vision for the future. With each rocket launch, China signals its intent to become a dominant force in the final frontier. Its space program has achieved remarkable milestones in just a few decades. From sending astronauts into orbit aboard the Shenzhou spacecraft to building and operating its own space station, China has rapidly closed the gap with traditional space powers. These missions are not just symbolic, they are laying the groundwork for long-term human presence in space. In 2021, China became only the second country to successfully land and operate a rover on Mars. The Tianwen-1 mission marked a historic achievement, showcasing China's growing technological prowess and its ability to execute complex interplanetary missions. But the journey doesn't stop there. China is investing billions into lunar exploration, with plans to establish a permanent research base on the moon by the 2030s. These efforts are part of a broader strategy to secure resources, advance scientific knowledge, and inspire a new generation of explorers. This cosmic ambition mirrors China's transformation on Earth. In just a few decades, the nation has risen from widespread poverty to become a global economic powerhouse. Skyscrapers now stand where farmland once stretched, and innovation hubs have replaced old industrial zones. Behind this transformation are millions of dedicated workers, scientists, and students, people who believe in the power of progress. Their efforts in technology, education, and research are not only reshaping China, but also redefining what's possible for humanity. China's story is far from over. It is still unfolding, written not just in textbooks or headlines, but now, quite literally, in the stars. As satellites orbit above and rovers explore distant worlds, China is carving its place in the cosmos, one mission at a time.